Hello there. Welcome back to Grade School of Accounting. In this video, I want to look at the preparation of notes to the balance sheet. So we are going to look at this question, which is a question one of this question paper. So all question receipts reads you are provided with information from the records of Facility Limited for the financial year ended 2024. So on the required part, we are just going to concentrate on 1.2. That is on the preparation of notes to the statement of financial position. So the question reads, prepare the following notes to the statement of financial position. 1.2.1, we give an order share capital with 8 marks, and then the 1.2.2 is the retained income with 8 marks. So these are the questions that we have. So we are going to start by order share capital. So we can go to our answer section and see how the answer book is presented, our answer section. So if you go here, come here, you'll see that here we have got our order share capital that we're going to start with. We already have a pre-entered figure for shares in issue on 1 March 2023. And obviously, this is going to be in the beginning of the financial year. That is our opening balance. So we can just try to go there in the list of balances and try to see what other information we have that we have to update there. So the first figure that we're going to try to find out is the figure of a number of shares at the beginning of the period, that is here. As we are given the value, the total value of the share that is we're given here. So we need the number of shares that we have at the beginning. So we go to the question to try to see if we have got information that we are given in terms of number of shares at the beginning. We start by list of balances, that is here that we are given. Then we can now we see that we are not having such a figure. Then we go to additional information to try to see if we have that information that's going to lead us to the number of shares at the beginning of day. So if you come here, you'd see that this is at the beginning of day, which is 1 April 2023. So if you look at the description that are given there, which reads payments were received for the remaining 25% of unissued shares. That is on 1 April 2023. And these shares were issued at 3 rand 90 cents per share. So obviously it means unissued is represented as 25% here. So it means the already issued was 100 minus 25, you get your 75. So 75% is the already issued. So this is the balance that you're having at the beginning here, that on 1 April 20. Because 1 September, that on 1 April, that's when we received of the unissued. But it means before that, in the beginning, we had 75%. So we're going to say 75% of the total that's supposed to be there, which is authorized. And then we get the number of shares that we have at the beginning. Basically, we are saying 0.7575% is a decimal, and you multiply by 1,900,000. So that's how we are going to get your answer there. And then when you calculate it correctly, we're going to get 1,425,000. So this is the figure that we're going to put as our opening balance for number of shares that we have at the beginning. So here we are saying 1,425,000. So basically that's what we have. Then we can now indicate in terms of the shares that were now issued on 1 April. So we are going to say shares issued during the year. You can just say shares issued at what? It remember, now let's just try to verify in terms of the value per share. On 1 April, that's when we have got shares that were issued, payment receipt from the remaining 25% of unissued shares. These shares were issued at 3.90 rand, and they are 25%. So we are going to calculate it again. It's 3.90 rand. And they're saying they are 25% of the authorized share capital. So we're saying 25% is a decimal is 0.25. And then we multiply the 1,900,000, which is the authorized share capital. And then when you calculate like that, you're going to see that the number that we are going to get is 475,000. So this represents the number of shares that were issued. So here we've got 475,000. And then to get now the total, you are now saying 475,000 plus 390, and you are going to get your 1,852,500. 1,852,500. So we can just try to verify that calculation and say 475, and then you multiply by 390. And then the answer that we are supposed to get is 1,852,500. And then you go to the next description that we are having on the information for the shares issued. We are now seeing that on 26 February 2024, 200,000 shares were repurchased at 4 Rand 50. So there we can just shares are repurchased at right. So these shares that were repurchased, they will be repurchased whenever we repurchase share. We repurchase an average share capital, average share price. We can just indicate it as the average share price. We use the average share price. Average share price, we are saying the total value, of shares that we have before the repurchase over the total number of shares before the repurchase. So we are saying to calculate average share price, we are saying total value of all shares before the repurchase. Then we divide by the total number of shares before the repurchase. So basically, this is the information that we have in terms of calculating average share price. So basically, here we are going to say number of shares that we have for if that we had at the beginning plus that were issued on 1 September. Then we get the total number of shares. That will be going to be the denominator. The numerator will be the value. We have the value at the beginning plus the value of new shares. So so we go to our answer section and try to find out if we can get that figure. We can get that figure because we have a value of shares at the beginning, 4,470,500 plus this one gets total value. The total number of shares, we're going to say this one plus this one. So here we are saying shares repurchased now we are now going to put the value, the average share price is the value that we are going to use for repurchase. So calculation of value of repurchase, we are going to say our 4 million is our numerator, 4,470,500 plus 1,852,500. Then we get the numerator, and then we divide by total number of shares. Total number of shares we are getting in here. In the other column, we are saying 1,425,000, which is this one, number of shares at the beginning, plus number of shares that you issued 475. Obviously, it goes back to 1,900,000. So basically, there, if you calculate it like that, you see that the answer that we are supposed to get there to one decimal place, obviously, is going to be 3 Rand 30. So this will be the average share price. So here we're going to issue them at 3 Rand 30. So to get now the total value of the shares that were repurchased. So we can just maybe check the number of shares that were repurchased. And it's there, it's listed. There are 200,000 shares. So we come back and put in the column for number of shares. We have 200,000 shares that were repurchased. And remember, whenever there's a repurchase, we subtract. So you put it as a negative 200,000. But to get the total value against 200,000 times 3 Rand 30, and you are going to get your answer is 200. This just trying to say. And you are going to get your answer is 660. 660,000. So this is what we have, and obviously we are putting it as a negative figure. So it means we can get this figure that we have here by saying 1,425,000 plus 475,000 minus 200,000, and then you're going to get your 1,700,000. Then from here now, we can also get the figure which is the closing balance by saying 4,470,500 plus 1,852,500 minus 660,000, and then you get your 5,610,000. So this is what we have on the ordinary share capital. Not then we go to retained income now. So for retained income, we are going to start with our balance at the beginning, which is we are given it as pre-entered. Then we are supposed to adjust for net profit after tax. So here we are saying net profit, of which we are supposed to edit net profit after tax. So the net profit after tax, we are not going to have it in this question. If you go back to the question now, you see that this was calculated on the preparation of statement of comprehensive income. So we come here. So statement of comprehensive income here, that's where we found the figure for net profit after tax, which was 3,051,306. So we can take this figure as our net profit after tax. So net profit after tax, we are saying 3,051,360. And then obviously after that now, that's when we are going to adjust for our repurchase. Repurchase of shares. So repurchase of shares, remember, when shares are repurchased at a price above the average share price. You know that our average share price is 330. And when it's repurchased above that average share price, we need to see the difference above average share price and adjust it in the retained income note. So if you come here, you'll see that they were repurchased at 200,000 shares were repurchased at 450, which is above the average share price. So remember, our average share price, we got them as 330. So we're going to take our repurchase price, which is 450, and come here. And we are seeing it's above 330, the average share price. So we are saying 450 minus 330. And see what we are going to get there. 450, and then we will subtract 330. And then we are going to get your 1 rand 20. So it is equal to 1 rand 20. So this is the price that is above the average share price. So this is the price that you are going to value the repurchase that you are going to subtract in the retained income note. So to get the total now for repurchase, you are now saying 1 rand 20 times the number of shares that you repurchased is 200,000 times 200,000. And then the answer that we are supposed to get there is 240,000. And then here, obviously, we are going to subtract, it's going to be a reduction. Then orders, we go to the section of ordinary share dividends, whereby we go to the question again to try to see what information do we have for dividends. Try to see there. But if you come here, you would see that ordinary share dividends interim are given as 342,000. So we have them there as 342. So we are just going to say interim 342. This is our interim. We are saying interim dividends. And we are saying 342. 342,000, and then obviously we need the final dividends. So for the final dividends, again, we go to the question and try to see what is it saying. Final dividend of 30 cents per share was declared. All shareholders during the year were entitled to final dividends. So as we are saying, we are not going to consider the repurchase that happened, that transpired at the end of the period. We are saying all shares that were there during the year are going to gain the dividends. So we are going to say, because when we at the beginning we had 1,425,000, and then there's an additional number of shares that were issued on 1 April, and that was 475,000. It got back to 1,900,000. So we are saying all these shares should be entitled to shares, as this statement is saying. So we're going to multiply this 1,900,000 times 30 cents, which is 0.30, to get the value of our our final dividends. So we can just try to multiply there. And we're going to see that the answer that we are going to get there is 570,000. So this is going to be your final dividend. So we can go there. And in the brackets, obviously, we are going to say 1,900,000, and then we multiply by 0.37. And we got 570,000. So we add the two to get the total for our ordinary share dividends. Here, 340,000 plus 570,000, you get 912,000. And obviously, you're going to subtract it to arrive at the balance of 28 February 2024. So we add there 1,682,400 plus 3,051,360 minus 240,000 minus 912,000. And then you get your answer here, which is supposed to be 3,518,760. So this marks the end of our notes to the statement of financial position, that is the balance sheet. And these are the figures that we are going to carry them to the statement of financial position as we prepare the statement of financial position. Remember, the notes they come as pre-calculations that are done before preparing the statement of financial position. So this is what we have in terms of this question on notes to the statement of financial position. Let's stay tuned for more videos to come. Let's subscribe and share. Let's share the link to all our colleagues who are doing the Gulf accounting. As for this video, I'm signing out. We'll meet again in the next video.